Ladies and gentlemen, you can't accuse somebody of doing something criminal based on gossip and hearsay. You can't just simply, even at work, you can't go to a superior or your boss and say, my colleague said this, and then just sit back as the colleague or the coworker gets fired. That is not legal. You cannot do that. It's a criminal act. You can't use gossip and hearsay to disparage somebody. There are laws against that. And if it's an organized plot, if you're conspiring to take down someone else using gossip, hearsay, false allegations that you know are false, that you know at least have no backing, that is a criminal act. You can't simply say, well, it's part of a congressional investigation, so we're going to paraphrase a possible quote of Donald Trump when he was in the Oval Office. And that's what Liz Cheney has done. Now, you might say, well, H.A., he hasn't sued Cheney. Well, he did sue the January committee. Newsweek, Cheney-Thompson condemned Trump lawsuit against panel, an attempt to delay obstruct. So he did sue to prevent the panel already. This is a Newsweek article. I'm quoting a Newsweek article initially. Then there's a lawsuit against Clinton, Comey, about 20 other people. McCabe, a whole bunch of people. I believe Strzok is in there. And so I think Debbie Wasserman Schultz is also in there. I did some segments on Trump's lawsuit. They haven't been able to get a judge to do away with or to just disregard the lawsuit. So the lawsuit against like 30 people is still there. And Mark Elias, who almost certainly lied under oath, almost certainly during the Sussman trial, stated, oh, well, we only hired Fusion GPS because we were afraid of Trump's libel cases or his penchant for suing people for libel. Okay, even if you wanted to say that in the past Trump was sued for a joke, or this is not like humor. This is Liz Cheney quoting him, and along with like doctored and altered evidence of that day in terms of video, which I won't even get into. You can just, there's a whole bunch of channels talking about that. And so, and there is evidence in terms of the scenes that took place that day that exonerates, well, I would say shows a different side. Because they're accusing Trump of trying to overthrow democracy. That's not exactly what took place. If you want to talk about that, there were a whole summer. Again, I agree with why people demonstrated in the summer, in that summer, but there was a whole summer where police, law enforcement were clashing with demonstrators, and it wasn't a peaceful endeavor like media stated. Media, the Democratic Party, lied by omission about that summer. And you had one day where Republicans were trying to do everything possible to just obtain every ounce of political utility from that day, which is I condemn what took place. President Trump should never have had that day in Washington, D.C. The cards were stacked against him. He should have, if he wanted to convey his thought process, he should have fostered dialogue, discourse, debate, and discussion. I see him on Truth Social. I don't have Truth Social. I don't have Twitter. I don't have any of that stuff. I have this channel. Hit subscribe. I have the Stock Market Crash channel. Hit subscribe there. It's in the description section, and it'll be in the pinned comment. And also hit subscribe to the Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or lower channel. Everything I've been saying is taking place. Ladies and gentlemen, tell your friends, tell people, if you watch this channel, you've been watching me for a long time, tell everybody that you know I predicted it in October of 2021 in my Federalist article, and that's below in the description section, everything that took place. And in September, I started the Stock Market Crash channel. And in September, I told everybody on the Stock Market Crash channel and this channel, we would have the 8.6% inflation. We would have the recession. We would have the 10-year Treasury at over 3.1% now. And we would have a recession, like the stock market's imploding, crypto's imploding. I said all of that. I told everybody that. So hit subscribe to those channels. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. Become a member of this channel also. But ladies and gentlemen, he's going to sue Liz Cheney. If you say, well, he hasn't done it yet, well, sorry. I mean, that is what I believe is going to take place based on what he's done already and based on what Liz Cheney has exhibited. You cannot accuse somebody of wanting to commit crimes based on fabricated quotes or possibly fabricated quotes. So Trump has already sued the January panel. It didn't work out, or he sued to stop the panel. He's already sued Clinton, Comey, McCabe, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, everybody involved in Crossfire Hurricane, and everybody involved in trying to undermine his presidency. That lawsuit is still ongoing. And it's just a matter of when this thing ends, depending on if people engage in possibly criminal or civil crimes. Okay? You cannot, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot accuse Donald Trump of saying that he wants to do something despicable and criminal to the vice president without any backing, without any evidence. What took place throughout Trump's presidency was, sources familiar, current and former U.S. officials, an anonymous source says that Trump said this or that, or Trump did this or that. To morally superior liberal Democrats everywhere, Trump is capable of anything. There is nothing this man, the orange monster, the orange menace, is capable of literally anything. If there was the Washington Post could report on a story of an impending alien invasion where Trump decided to barter the entire human race and the United States of America so he can get a hotel on Mars. And the Martians would, leave him alone and let him live at the expense of every one of us. They would quote that. That would be an actual story. And don't believe, if you think that's absurd and hyperbolic and, just come on, you're just joking around. No, they would believe that. Morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats would believe anything that is leveled against, literally anything that's leveled against Trump. Trump wanted to go ahead and sell American lives to Martians in order to get a hotel on Mars? Oh my God. He's sunk to depths that we never imagined, said current and former U.S. officials close to the matter, or a source that we have close to the matter, or a source close to Trump. I mean, it's like they wouldn't, like, so Liz Cheney has crossed the line in terms of politics and a civil case or a criminal case. I'm not, depending on if you're an attorney, so you decide in the comment section if you're an attorney. What they're doing to Trump is, it's one thing if he committed a crime and they're trying to investigate. Watergate was a crime and it was a cover-up. Watergate was an actual break-in. It was an actual break-in into the Watergate building by people who were either paid or directly associated to Nixon to break into the Democratic National Committee. And they did. And they were caught. And then there was a cover-up. So these are like, it was a break-in and a cover-up. The mayor of D.C., the attorney general of D.C., they never accused Trump of a specific crime. The Merrick Garland, the attorney general of the United States of America, never accused Trump of a specific crime. They never accused him of breaking a legal statute with the IRS or with his tax returns. They never found that he conspired along with the Kremlin. With the Mueller probe, found nothing, like literally nothing. Simply saying it's probably the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. Well, he benefited from the DNC emails. Yeah, of course he would. Bernie Sanders was cheated. The Democrats are utterly corrupt. The economy is in the tank. We're heading into a recession, a stock market crash. Of course, who's going to benefit? Yeah, the Democratic Party's rivals. That's because they're incompetent and also corrupt. Yes, of course. The DNC emails helped Trump. Yeah, they helped Trump. Want to know why? Gosh, something about corruption actually helps the Democratic Party's rivals. Wow, how does that work? That's so bizarre. And so they keep on getting like stunned and, just they're in disbelief always when somebody benefits, knowing about how utterly despicable they all are. It's like, yeah, And again, the Republican Party in the early 2000s, the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republicans were the epicenter of corruption. Guess what? They're the Lincoln Project now, and they've been embedded within the Democratic Party. So those Republicans are now Democrats. Okay, there are even publications, hilarious publications, who, by the way, they're all people who could get canceled tomorrow. The Lincoln Project people, the Bill Kristol type people, those publications, a couple of publications, anyone associated with Liz Cheney, Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, they were opposed to they wanted a marriage amendment. They were opposed to marriage equality. They can get canceled in 2 seconds. 2 seconds. The saddest and most pathetic thing you've ever seen in your life is Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld Republicans thinking that they've entered the cool crowd, the polite society. They've been accepted by Democrats. They're not accepted by Democrats. This is politics and strange bedfellows and a marriage of inconvenience. In 2 seconds, when they're not needed anymore, they'd be canceled within a nanosecond. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel and the Bitcoin Crash channel. Liz Cheney engaged in utilizing gossip. You can't utilize gossip. And you can't I believe it's a defamation case. But you can't utilize gossip. And libel would be writing, and defamation is just what Cheney is doing. If I'm getting that wrong, let me know in the comment section. But you can't engage in what Cheney is doing. Oh, we believe, quote, we believe that Trump uttered this sentiment, and I quote. Like, no, you can't do that. You're quoting a fantasy. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to all 3 channels right now. Thank you.